July the 4th, 2024. Guys, before I start this video, by the way, I hope you're having a great holiday. Think about your pets tonight during the fireworks. A lot go missing. A lot run out the road, get run over and killed, jump the fence, things like that. And everyone else that don't have pets, be mindful if you're doing the loud fireworks around people that are, because it really makes a difference. Some pets even have to be medicated during that time. What we're dealing with right now, 5 p.m. update, is a 110 mile per hour hurricane. That is the upper line of a Cat 2. You go to 111, you're at Cat 3. But it's still considered a major hurricane. See, the M equals 110. So the X right there you're seeing is a major hurricane. Now, it's supposed to be slowing down, but if we look at the satellite images, which we are going to do, it looks like it's reforming and becoming stronger. We'll take a look. The path is fairly accurate that you're seeing. The Navy model has not changed. It looks like it's going to go up into central Texas. Canadian model brings it into Mexico and up near the Rio Grande. Again, 110 mile per hour winds, but our gusts are at 132, which puts you back at a Cat 4 as far as the gust goes. And in the satellite images, you'll be able to see that the eye has reformed in the last few. They're saying Cat 2 again, 110, 111's a Cat 3, and you go from there. But usually, like I said, at 110, they will go put an M there on the National Hurricane Center. Here's your timing. Tomorrow afternoon, at 2 p.m., the storm is at 70 miles per hour on land, getting ready to step offshore, and it goes from 70 to 60. That seems backwards to me because, guys, the storm's going to come ashore, and that's going to be the slowest period, get back into the warmer waters. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Again, the Canadian model is that pale green line that brings it down into Mexico. The purple line you see up near the pink line, that is the Navy model. It has not changed in a few days. I'm expected to see it change. How drastic it is, maybe it will by the 8 p.m. report if it needs to. And this was the 6 p.m. updated Eastern time. Now let's look at the Canadian model. We'll look at that and a couple of others. I'm not going to make this a long drawn-out video. We got a lot of updates coming up in the next few days. Canadian model brings it in just south of the Texas-Mexico border, up the Rio Grande. If it does that, guys, there's going to be a lot of flooding in that area. Now, let's look at the Navy model. That is showing us the other side of the cone. And it shows us the same thing that we've been watching. Once it comes off the Yucatan, it gets dark blue, intensifies very quickly, and goes up into central Texas, and then northeast from there. Now, let me say this. The GFS model, which is very good at 2 to 3 day outputs, is also coming into Texas. A little further south than the Navy model, but we'll take a look at that too. They're not showing much of a storm behind this one. It's at 20% chance of development. They've been focused on Beryl for a long time. But we're going to pay attention to it because once it gets into the Gulf, it starts to warm up. It's going to change a lot of things. It's going to kind of get a mind of its own. Here is the GFS model. Notice it comes in right along the border and then comes into Texas. So it's kind of in the middle of the two models. And we're going to be watching that change as we go forward through tonight and into tomorrow. And if we look at some of the satellite images and the data, this was at 2100 hours, which would be 4 o'clock this afternoon, East Coast. There's your coordinates, and the position is accurate within 20 nautical miles. 17 knots forward speed, 95 knots with gust up to 115. That's 110 like they're saying. That's sustained up to Cat 4, 132 mile per hour winds. Now, drew this arrow in here because what I've noticed was that the storm was taking a northern turn. The arrow starts, the blue one, where the storm started this morning. Now, it gets above the line, and then watch where this eye opens up. Right there in the middle. It looks like the eye of Godzilla. Anyway, the storm is strengthening is my point. Here we're looking at natural images here, and the eye sits right in there in between those two. But notice that it's above the line, the last few frames, it's going to drop right into those lines. The red line is just a continuation from where it started this morning. But that red line may change because you see the dip at the end of the video with the eye opening up between them. So right there at that point, it makes one loop a little further south. Now, if that changes, we'll have to wait and see. Guys, but that's what we got right now. I think it's important to kind of keep an eye on this thing. But we are strengthening at 110 miles an hour. All it has to do is gain 1 more mile per hour with the eye forming. And you got a Cat 3 coming up shore on the Yucatan. And that's going to put the gust back up when you start to get above 110. You get up in 115, 120, your gusts are going to put you very close to Cat 5 situations as far as your wind gust. And we've seen the damage so far. Now, it's not going to hit the Yucatan, I don't think, as strong as what we've seen down in Jamaica. But it is intensifying. All my friends down in Mexico, the Yucatan, all our friends that are down there vacationing. This is something we got to watch. This is a critical night. It's going to make a big difference between now and early morning. There should be a few updates, and if they're important, I will come on. But if not, this is the trend. Now, let me say this. Because in the last few frames you saw it dip just a little further to the south, and because it was above these lines, you can back this up and look at it. Will it continue that almost direct line, or will it wobble a few more times, follow this one, or will it move a little further to the north? The further north, the least land it crosses, so the less tearing down of the velocity and strength of the hurricane, because it's not on land as long. Again, we're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.